Welcome to the Glenn Rasmussen Fogarty and Hooker podcast series. Today's video topic will be construction contract documents and their negotiation. This is a multi-part video, so please check for the other videos. The first thing I want to discuss is basic contract formation. Now, most of you that are out there watching this video, if you're a contractor, a subcontractor, an architect, engineer, supplier, anyone in the construction industry, you're familiar with construction contracts. Okay, it may be a document that looks like this, multiple pages, says contract or agreement up top. Both parties sign it. That's a written document, written contract. Okay. What I'm talking about is where it's not as simple as that, where you've got multiple documents going back and forth, or you may have things that don't necessarily look like your typical written contract. So the first thing that you need to do is figure out, what do you have to have in order to have a valid contract? Well, you have to have an offer. What is an offer? It can be you submitting a bid for a government project. It could be a proposal to do work or to provide supplies. It could even be an email saying, hey, I will do this if you pay me this. And in addition to having an offer, you need to have an acceptance. Okay, what is an acceptance? It's the government saying, yes, you are the successful bidder. It could be a notice to proceed. It could be a signed contract. It could be anything along those lines. Anything that accepts the original offer that was tendered. The key thing is that the acceptance has to mirror the offer. In other words, the acceptance has to agree on all the terms that were contained in the original offer. Now, let me give you an example of where that's not so clear. Let's say you are a subcontractor. You receive a contract from a prime contractor. You go through it and you don't like some of the provisions that are in it. You strike through them, initial them, and fax it back. Okay, what do you have at that point? Do you have an offer and acceptance? Do you have a contract? No, what you have is the prime contractor sent you an offer. You then made changes and sent them a counter offer or a counter proposal. Okay, now it's up to the prime contractor to determine whether or not they're going to accept your terms. If they initial off on your terms, sign it and send it back, then you have a contract based on your revised terms. If they don't, then you're still negotiating, you don't have a contract. One of the key things that you need to do, a practice pointer, is make sure that you keep all of the fax confirmation pages if you've got multiple versions of a contract going back and forth. I had a case recently where there were 5 different versions of the contract, and the only way that we were able to determine which contract was the operative document was to take all the documents, lay them out, and figure out, based on the fax confirmation pages, which document came first. Another thing that you see a lot in the construction industry is sending construction contract documents via email. What you want to do is not only keep the construction documents, but keep the original cover email for that, print it out, or keep it somewhere safe so that you know that you can go back and look at it to figure out which document came first, and ultimately which document you entered into. So you've got to have an offer and an acceptance. Okay, those are the 2 key things that you got to have. The next part is going to discuss consideration. That is, what are you giving, or what is somebody paying you for services that you're going to be doing.